Hey guys, this is Lauren Productions, aka Nana 4673. I sound incredibly hyper, I'm sorry. Um, I'm back in Autumn's Journey, part 15. This might be the last part, but due to minor disasters in the past with me thinking it was the last part when it really wasn't, I'm not gonna promise anything, so yeah. Ilmari was settled by one of the apple trees, its orange leaves visibly even in the dark. Instead of waiting for me to sit down, he got up eagerly and approached me. Thanks for coming out to see me. I wasn't sure if I should bother you at your house. I would, I wouldn't have minded soaking in the scenery one last time. Yes, I love it here. I'm not sure when I'll be allowed to visit another Heavenkind town again. I couldn't hide my dejected expression, and Ilmari fidgeted anxiously. Without warning, Ilmari embraced me tightly. I'm really going to miss you. I wanted this journey to go on forever. You know what? I like you, Ilmari, but please don't confess or something. That's just let it stay at friendship, please. Same here, Ilmari. How long will you be gone for? You'll be allowed to visit at least, right? I'll do anything I can. I'm going to see if I can encourage writing and recording in Dragonkind culture. It'll probably lessen the roles of knowledge keepers somewhat, but then it'll allow us more freedom. We let go his hands still clutching my shoulders. Ilmari, it sounds like you're going to change the system. It won't happen overnight, of course, but I'll be sure to promote more Heavenkind and Dragonkind interaction. If you keep up your reading lessons, I promise I'll write letters to you. I'm not even sure how they'll arrive where you are. I'm guessing you don't have an address. An address? His lip quivered and then he hugged me again. This is unfair. You still have so much to teach me about Heavenkind, about you. I know. Believe me, I feel the same way. I rubbed his back comfortably, letting my fingers comb through his hair. I devoted my memory to the form of his figure in our embrace. Nothing more needed to be said, and we remained in the hug for a few more minutes. When Mary's shoulders stopped trembling and his breathing became calmer, I slowly stepped back, dropping my arms. I really can't thank you enough for everything. I'm grateful that I got a chance to join you and Kerr. At least you two will stick together from now on, right? A pained look appeared on his face. Oh no. Yes, but what about you? I'll be fine. I'll keep myself busy. You won't be the one with your hands full. That reminds me, where is Kerr? I need to say goodnight to him too. I think he's close to your home. Huh? I thought he'd be farther away. He likes the pastry scent of that your house has. Figures. We burst out laughing. Remembering the blanket, I draped it around Wilmer. You sure you won't be cold tonight? We could always spend the night indoors. He shook his head, but held the blanket close to his chest. Kerr and I'll be fine. See you in the morning, Aurelie. I departed on a high note. Now I just have to find Kerr. Ilmari was right about Kerr loitering near my house. In fact, he was resting against the wall outside as I peered around the corner. Surprise visit! Stealth is my strong point. He arched an unimpressed eyebrow. It wasn't surprising at all. I heard you stomping all over town. I was not stomping. I was walking normally. I plopped down in front of him and rested on my knees. He was sitting cross-legged, his hands gripping his ankles. Looking forward to being back to normal tomorrow? I half expected a blunt yes or grumbling agreement. Instead, I was answered with an awkward silence. Kerr? He snapped out of his trance. I guess. At least I won't be pathetically weak. Believe me, you are still plenty strong in this form. You'll probably lose your ability to punch, though. Can dragons even do that? I'll be the first one to try it. He made a fist and mimed a fake punch to my forehead, nudging it softly. I giggled. Now it's all coming down to this, I guess I might as well say a few things. Yeah, it's not going to be a confession. I smirked and peered at him knowingly. So this is another reluctant confession? He let out a sheepish chuckle. More willingly, I promise. I wanted to say thanks for everything. I admit I was a pain at first. I kinda needed to hear that. Thanks, Kerr. We're good. I probably didn't make it easy for you, right? Right. You don't have to agree so quickly. I guess I was quarrelsome. I regret not opening up to you earlier. I feel like I created a lot of unpleasant memories. I gave him a light punch in the arm to dissuade his conviction. What are you talking about? I look fondly on them all, even our bickering and petty arguments. I like to think we've matured since then. At least a little. Speaking about confessing, there's a small question that has been nagging me ever since we met. I've never asked because I knew you'd get upset. I'd like to think the Kerr now will ask differently. He perked up quizzically. And what's that? Can I touch your ears? His hand met his face and he groaned loudly. Fine, just for a moment. Eee! Still on my knees, I positioned myself so I could lean over that and extended my arms. He glowered at me in disgruntlement, but I ignored his expression as my fingers rubbed the scale-like material. Whoa, they really are hard as rock. As I let my fingers graze the grooves. Something. Kerr's irritation vanished and his eyes lingered downward to my neck. Wondering if I was making him uncomfortable, I let go, but he reached out and rubbed my back in his arms, pulling me close. Kerr! His jaw brushed against my neck, and I felt something. What? Moist grazed my skin. My body turned rigid, and my mind screamed alarm bells. What? I instantly pushed him off and fell on my rear, shuffling back and wiping my neck frantically. What are you doing? Aura. Oh my gosh, the comment about dragons eating Heavenkind was right. Aura. I don't taste good, I swear. I work out a lot, so I'm probably all tough and... Calm down. I thought we were companions. How could you? It's not like that. His proclamation startled me and I allowed myself to relax. Sorry for my overreaction. Kerr gave me a pain poke and then gently grabbed my hand. I promise I won't do it again if you don't panic. Right? He held me close once again. This time I remained quiet, although my heart still fluttered wildly from our something. I heard a deep chuckle in his throat. Someone who can remain composed in battle is sure act irrationally when it comes to affection. I'm sorry, it's not something I'm used to. Neither am I. Seriously, that took all of my courage just to... Hesitantly, he lowered his head, pausing at the moment before delicately nuzzling my neck with his nose. He stopped and rested his chin on my shoulder. Heavenkind had such short necks. Pardon me for not being born a dragon. He pulled away, gazing into my eyes with a pained expression. Why weren't you? Huh? If you were an earth dragon, I would have asked you to be mine. He trailed off and gave me a defeated smile, resting his forehead against mine. I wish I didn't feel this strongly for you. It's going to make saying goodbye so much harder. How wouldn't Heavenkind express this feeling? I could feel my cheeks burn up as I thought of an answer. Pushing aside the butterflies in my stomach, I closed my eyes and tilted my head. Like this. I delivered a light kiss to his lips, and I could feel his body go rigid momentarily before he reciprocated. I threw my arm around his neck, and he simply crowded me close. I was not sure how long I remained in this embrace, but I knew I couldn't stay there forever. Carefully, I pulled away and stepped up. Night, Kerr. I'll see you in the morning. Not staying? Despite his yearning plead, I remained firm with my decision. I've said this before. Heavenkind don't mess altogether. I trailed off when I realized the situation might be different for two people in love, and my heart beat frantically. Good night, Kerr. I hastily retreated to my bedroom, trying to quell these flustered emotions. Nothing would have happened anyway, would it? Even so, I wasn't prepared to spend the night with one person. Oh God. Everything I read about the Night Code of Conduct never covered this, and my mom's advice with men could only help me so far. I had no idea how to react in this situation. I didn't want Kerr to see me so anxious. I felt guilty for immediately retreating, but I needed time. Crawling into bed, I propped my scabbard next to the frame so it was always within reach, and I curled up under the blanket. As my feelings eventually settled down, I was able to fall into a dreamless sleep. Why wasn't there CG of the kiss? Although I was slowly waking up, my body felt heavy, and I wasn't looking forward to a day I would have to say goodbye to both Kerr and Mary. I exhaled loudly, but then cheated myself for feeling down already. Terrible. At least see them off with a smile. I wonder how Kerr... Yes, I thought so. As I removed the blanket, it was pinned under something. I looked back curiously. Kerr was kneeling beside the bed, other body resting on the mattress and fabric with his head, his folded arms. His closed eyes were partially obscured by his brown hair. What? Instantly I reached for my scabbard, but my hand only met air. I ended up toppling off the bed and in my rush, hitting the floor with a thud. The noise caused Kerr to stir. I didn't see my sword anywhere during my frantic search. Kerr opened his eyes and sat up while I stared at him in bewilderment. "What are you doing here?" I immediately hushed up, lest my parents heard. "Where's my sword? It was here when—" Kerr gave me a sheepish look. "Sorry, I knew you'd probably scare me first and then ask questions later, so I moved it." "Scaring you would be completely rational in a situation like this. What are you doing here sneaking into someone's bedroom is—" Kerr balked and rubbed his head bashfully, leaving his hand on his forehead. On my way, I said I didn't want to spend the last night away from you. You would have refused if I asked." "Oh, well, yeah." I rubbed my face, taking a deep breath, reminding myself that there was a conflict in how we expressed endearment. From his point of view, I was probably being distant, while for me, he was invading personal space. We needed a way to meet in the middle. I solved the predicament by throwing a pillow at him. "Don't do that. Ask next time." Kerr tossed the pillow back, and I caught it deeply. "It might be a while before I can get the chance to ask you again." "Good, but I might be mentally prepared to say that yes then. And to think it used to be you that hated being touched. Because dragonkind bond through touch, and you wouldn't get your grubby hands off me in the beginning." I reflected back to the situation and realized, now that I think about it, sorry, I didn't know. Didn't mean to make it awkward for you. Still have a lot to learn about dragonkind. Kerr's fingers grazed over his ear persistently. "Does the difference bother you?" I chuckled and casually tossed my pillow back on the bed. "Of course not. Despite some blunders, we always strive to understand each other. Even if dragonkind and heavenkind express their affection in different ways." He approached me and comfortably placed his hands on my arms. He leaned in, his face inching closer to my neck before he paused, gauging my reaction. I shyly turned to the side, feeling my cheeks go warm. Instead of a nudge like I was expecting, it was a gentle kiss, and he pulled away. His tender expression melted into a wry smile. "Thanks for not panicking this time. Thanks for actually giving me a moment to get my bearings. I'll try not to be nervous next time. We'll definitely be able to see each other again soon, right?" "Promise." We fell silent, simply enjoying each other's company, until one question that had pestered me for a long time. I tilted my head so it was closer to his ear. "Kerr, where did you put my sword?" He chuckled nervously, and I saw his face turning towards the window. "You did not. If I kept it in your room, you would have—" I gave him a gentle shove and scurried out of bed. "Go fetch Ilmaria. I'll meet up with you in a few minutes." He mustered a tender smile. "Sure." How did he get into my room? I present these offerings to pray for a safe trip and— "Hey!" Kerr snatched one of the apple tarts and I'd laid out in front of the dragon altar. "What, they're an offering to us dragonkind, so they're obviously mine for the taking." "Oh, no, that's not how it's supposed to work." I futilely tried to snatch the treat out of his outstretched arm, but he had a hand placed on my forehead and held me away. Ilmari appeared to smile at us in amusement. "Nice to see you also all energetic," despite there was a smiling edge in his voice, and his smile dropped. He approached the altar and, after some hesitation, knelt down and put the glass-blown ornaments beside the pedestal. Kerr and I immediately stopped our teasing, and I touched Ilmari's shoulder in concern. "You're not taking it with you?" "No, I think it'd be better if it stayed with you. Kerr and I will be working together, so I want you to have something to remember us by." He got to the side of the cave. "I'll be outside. Kerr needs to be close to the altar to transform back, since his master has to completely remove the curse." "Right, meet you outside." I thought about leaving as well to give Kerr some space, but I paused when I saw him pick up the discarded walking stick from long ago. He twirled it in his hands, then looked at me. This brings back a lot of memories. He poked me with it and shielded myself with exposed arms. "Hey, hit me with that and I'll confiscate it." He laughed and turned it sideways as he presented it to me. I hugged the stick close before propping it against the altars beside Ilmari's blue ornament. Besides the missing apple tarts, I hope it was a satisfying offer to the wise dragons. I stood up in front of the— Damn, I had to end the episode! Jeez! Okay, will probably be a completely short one next time. I really have the worst timings. I'm looking forward to when I actually can make my videos as long as I want to. This is annoying.